The link to our agenda is in the chat. Best thing to do when you click the link is click present. So you're in presentation mode. Click Monday, do now. Once you click Monday, your options will expand. Choose do now. Thank you for staying unmuted muted, as you come in. Thank you for having your cameras on so I can see your lovely faces. I hope you had a good morning. I hope you got breakfast. I hope everyone was nice to you, or else I'll have to come for them. We are starting in 2 minutes. That's when the do now timer is going to start. One minute left until the bell rings and you are late. Thank you for being on time so my attendance is accurate. Thank you for being on time every day. So if you're already here, you clicked on the link and you're clicking Monday, do now. Yeah, you're gonna love that. You're gonna love these lyrics. Actually, you're gonna perform them. So I hope you love them. That is time. I'm starting the do now timer. Carefully read your instructions and get started. These minutes are gonna go really fast because today is a super fast day. I'm going to be quiet while you read so I don't distract you. If you're ever confused about what you're supposed to be doing, I'm presenting from my screen every step of the way. So you can always double check from there. Thank you for staying muted so we have quiet time while people read. I'm taking attendance. When you're done reading, please type ready in the chat so I know you're ready to move on. Great job staying on task and not getting sidetracked by the chat. All right, so I have Jamie ready, Philip ready, Emily, thank you, Taylor, Brenton, Audrey, Victoria, Emma, Taylor, Joshua, Philip, Deborah, awesome. I'm glad to see you here. Okay, here's what we're gonna do next. I want someone to raise their hand. Everything today is not going to be voluntary, by the way. So you need to look for your opportunity to participate voluntarily and also be present. You can't go in your kitchen and be Master Chef in the middle of class. We are right here. We're staying here. And just because your name is on the participant list does not mean you're present. So be ready for a cold call and your name to come up. We're going to get to a point today where I'm going to start calling down names on my participant list. So that's a little bit of advance warning in case you need to step away. You'll type BRB in the chat, and you'll be back within 5 minutes. So I'm going to back up. The first thing I want to talk about is our objective for today. I'm looking for a hand up online for someone who can read the objective for me. Going once. Let's see who's quick, who's fast, who's here, who's attentive. Angela, awesome. Spencer, Emily, Jamie. Angela, can you unmute, please, and read today's objective? In case you are lost right now, I am presenting everything from Google Meet. Go ahead, Emily. Or Angela, sorry.
Today's objective, describe the causes of the French Revolution. 3.2.1, justify the use of revolution as an historical theme here. 4.3.1.
Awesome. Let's get started. Before we watch our awesome vocabulary video, someone tell me, what is the topic, hands up please, of your lyrics that you read for the Do Now? I got one hand up, got two hands up, got three hands up. Oh, wow. Now I'm getting so many hands up, I can't count that. I have 7 hands up. I wonder why your hand isn't up. Did you read the lyrics? I got more hands up. Okay. So really, when I ask you to put your hand up, I'm asking you, did you read and can you find the answer? Not can you rely on your classmates to answer for you and carry you, as you would say. I need more hands up. Who else can tell me what the topic? Okay, now I got more hands up. Great. Let's start from the person who raised their hand first. Brenton, can you tell me what is the topic of these lyrics?
Well, it was broken into several different portions, but the French Revolution altogether, for the most part.
Awesome. Give me some more details.
Well, we have the French Revolution talking about King Louis XVI and his lavish lifestyle. And then perhaps the Third Estate starting to rise up with the revolutionary lyrics.
All right.
And we get this Robespierre feller, and we get to get introduced to him, which they thought would be better. And then we roll into Napoleon, who kind of saves the day, or did he?
Great question. I really like that you're using your prior knowledge today in class. I appreciate that. Spencer, your hand was up next. What can you add on to what Brenton said without repeating him because you were actively listening?
I just noticed that they were trying to give us multiple different perspectives from the time period.
Awesome.
Related to the French Revolution.
Can you give me an example? What is your evidence?
So, well, this is where I'm going to maybe touch on what Brent already touched on, but the fact that it gives us the king's perspective, but then they also give us the perspective of the poor. So the king is coming from a very wealthy perspective, then they give us the perspective of the poor.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, I'm going to ask everyone else to put your hands down, and we're going to move on to the next segment today, which is a part of our assignment. So we just finished our Do Now. If you're with me and you're on Google Meet, we finished the steps in our Do Now. We're moving on to our assignment. And the first thing on our assignment today is to watch the vocabulary video of the French Revolution. You just read the lyrics, but as we watch the vocabulary video, I want you to be very attentive of the lyrics on screen. Are you ready? Type ready in the chat if you are. You got to be hyped for this. Feel free to nod your head as we listen because the beat is hard. Here we go. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear the people that I can see on screen. Awesome.
Yeah, it's your boy Louis XVI, rocking a white wig and a mink fleece. All gold everything, gold throne, gold crown. If you poor, go home. Oh, you don't have a home? Me, I live at Versailles. That's my palace near Paris. In the Hall of Mirrors, I see me, myself, and I. The different classes need to face the fact that I'm at the top of the 3 estates. First clergy, then nobility, then the bourgeoisie. Man, they're killing me. Cause I need them to pay more taxes. My life must be lavish. I need to eat caviar, not cabbage. Without a king, you plebes are savage. Louis to last, your time is past. The third estate is rising fast. We're the poorest of classes. You'll get death if you mess with the masses. We're massive, you ignore our votes. We met on a tennis court, swore an oath. The hour of chaos, we need the black steel. July 14th, we storm the Bastille. Put your hands in the air, raise it up. Put your fists in the air, raise it up. Feel the change in the air, raise it up. It's time for a revolution. Put your hands in the air, raise it up. Put your fists in the air, raise it up. Feel the change in the air, raise it up. It's time for a revolution. The king and his crews have abused the rights, so just like the U.S., we choose to fight. Just like the U.S., we use the mic and step up and declare our human rights. Give props for sure to enlightenment philosophers, their torches. We use the ideas to shine some light in the darkness. Who's there, old Hawkins?
Robespierre, the soldier's here. Who doesn't fear a king? My choice is clear. Monsieur, monsieur, I lead the Jacobins against the wealthy. That's what's happening. The people name me the incorruptible. With their support, I am indestructible. Who wants to feel the pain forever? Meet the guillotine. It's a reign of terror. Put your hands in the air, raise it up. Put your fists in the air, raise it up. Feel the change in the air, raise it up. It's time for a revolution. Put your hands in the air, raise it up. Put your fists in the air, raise it up. Feel the change in the air, raise it up. It's time for a revolution.
Who's the man with the coldest heart? The man whose enemies get blown apart. The biggest deal in France since Joan of Arc? Yep, that's me, I'm Bonaparte. Yeah, I'm a hero, Napoleon, the emperor of the French, I'm controlling them. France didn't want one guy calling the shots. Forget that, I'm small, but I'm running the spot. Hit the weight room, working on my abs and glutes. How do I like my power? Absolute. I carry out a coup, conquer land, pass liberal laws and do my thing. You know, the Napoleonic code, but when I invade Russia, it gets totally cold. Oh, here's a quote to check. A revolution's an idea with a bayonet, yup.
Put your hands in the air, raise it up. Put your fists in the air, raise it up. Feel the change in the air, raise it up. It's time for a revolution. Put your hands in the air, raise it up. Put your fists in the air, raise it up. Feel the change in the air, raise it up. It's time for a revolution. What?
All right. So remember our objective for today. Our objective for today was to describe the causes of the French Revolution. Hopefully, from reading the lyrics and listening to the music so far, you've already identified what some causes of the revolution could be. But as we go in further today, I want you to keep that task in mind, causes of the French Revolution. All right, here we go. Now is your time to shine. I'm starting from my participant list. I'm going to start from the top so you know when your turn is coming. Every day we don't start from the top. Sometimes we start from the bottom. Sometimes we start from the middle. Your opportunity is coming. This is not voluntary. This is everyone's responsibility. So the first person on my participant list is Angela. And I already got you, Angela, didn't I? So I'm going to skip you and I'm going to go to Audrey. Audrey, can you read the first paragraph I am presenting, please?
What caused the French Revolution? In 2 words, extreme inequality. Dressed in lavish clothing, the royal family relaxed while munching on banquets in their palace in Versailles. Meanwhile, France was almost completely out of money. In the streets, the French people were beginning to starve.
Awesome. Thank you, Audrey, for responding quickly. I know that you're here. I know that you're present by how quickly you respond. Remember, if you have to walk away, you're typing BRB in the chat, and I'm checking to make sure you're back within 5 minutes. The next person on my participant list is Brenton. Brenton, can you read the second paragraph, but stop at the word second estate in the middle of the paragraph, please?
Sure. In addition to the king's absurd amount of luxury, other social and class issues inspired his, hold on, I gotta close the people thing out. There we go. His overthrow. Before the revolution, France's society was officially broken up into 3 social classes, which together comprised the Estates General. The first estate was made up of members of the clergy, church leaders. Nobility and royalty comprised the second estate.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brenton, for being quick and present. Deborah, you're up next. Could you please pick up where he left off?
These were the people who were lucky enough to be born into very wealthy French families. The third estate included the bourgeois or middle class and peasants. But here was the problem. The top 2 estates were just 2% of the population, and the bourgeois and peasants made up 98%. This meant that for every 100 people in France, 2 were wealthy and 98 were middle class or poor.
Okay, let's do a comprehensive check really quickly. Thank you so much, Deborah, for reading aloud for us and all the other students who were present and quick. My first question for you, you can raise your hand or you can type your answer in the chat. Please do not blurt out. Always raise your hand first. My first question was, who made up the first estate? So your hand is going up or you're responding in the chat. Maybe you're having a microphone problem. If that's the case, the problem has to be temporary and we have to figure out how to get it fixed. So make sure you're emailing me that. Awesome. Jamie, that was really fast. Clergy, Emily, awesome. Jillian, awesome. Emma, Taylor, Philip, Spencer, Brent, and clergy. Next question. Who made up the third estate? I'm not going in order, so don't get tricked. Who made up the third estate? The poor. Okay, the poor and the middle class. Yep. So we have middle class and peasants. We have evidence of this from the text. Remember, I'm using evidence by finding a quote directly from the text, highlighted here on your screen. All right. So here's a bigger question. What was the problem with the estate system in France? Raise your hand if you have the answer. This is going to be lengthy. So I'm looking for people to raise their hands. What was the problem with the estate system? I have one hand up, two hands up, three hands up. Awesome. The more hands up I have, the better my day goes. Thank you. Please really raise your hand if you have the answer. Don't raise your hand just to fit in with the crowd. If you need more time, the reading is on your screen. You can look for the answer. The question was, what was the problem with the estate system? Emily, your hand was up first. Go ahead.
It was a disproportionate cross-section of the community. The top people who had the wealth were the top 2%, and then everybody else was just left to be poor.
Awesome. Thank you, Emily. Emma, did you want to add on to what Emily said? Did she miss anything? Your hand is up next.
Yes, in my opinion, I think Emily got it right with the disproportionate amount of people being on top and taking control of everything. Meanwhile, the majority do not get the vote.
Awesome. Thank you, Emma, for referring back to Emily and using Accountable Talk and starting off with, in my opinion, and using Emily's name too. I appreciate that. Okay, right now, go to Google Meet. You should already be there because you should be looking at my screen. And you are going to notice a poll. We are going to answer the following question. And the next person on my participant list, by the way, if your hand is up, please put it down. The next person on my participant list is Jamie. Jamie, could you read the question we're going to answer in the poll, please?
Sure. Which of the following was true of French society in the years before the French Revolution?
Awesome. And the other Jamie, can you please read our options for us?
Sure. A, the king deeply understood the hardships of French people. B, most people were part of the first and second estate. C, there were more wealthy people than poor people. D, the third estate made up the majority of the population.
Okay, so remember, thank you, Jamie, for reading that. Remember that polls on Google Meet are tracked. So Google Meet sends me a log of your name and all of your answers you chose. So this is IF. Please choose the most appropriate answer, A, B, C, or D. I have 4 votes so far. 8 votes. 9. It's okay to take your time. It's better to take your time and have a correct answer than to speed and get the question wrong. I have 17 students, so I should have 17 answers on my poll. I'm waiting for 5 more. I'm waiting for 4 more.
I think that some people might not know how to find the poll.
Yeah, so if you go up to where the chat is, in the menu, at the very top, it shows a number in parentheses. If you move over, there's the chat, or I'm sorry, you see the participant list, that's the number of people here. Then to the right, you see the chat, and then a little bit more to the right, you see shapes. If you click on the shapes, it's a triangle, square, circle. Then you click polls, that's where you can find the poll. And it just says question 1. I'll give you 10 more seconds. I'll repeat that. The polls, you'll find a little shape icon next to where the chat icon is in the participant list. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. So I'm going to choose the answer and I'm going to show you the results. I'm not going to choose an answer based on what I think is right. I'm going to choose an answer based on the number of votes I got for a letter. So that was D. Let's see if you guys are right. Awesome job. I need someone to read for me, the next person on my participant list. Not only is there an answer given here, but there is evidence to back it up. Remember, one of our priority standards, we're required to use evidence to justify our answers or our claims. The next person on my list is Jillian. Jillian, can you read the evidence that can be found in this green square for me?
So I'm just reading like underneath the correct answer.
Yes.
Okay. According to the passage, the third estate included the bourgeoisie or middle class and peasants, and the top 2 estates were just 2% of the population, and the bourgeoisie and peasants made up 98%.
Awesome. So we have our claim here, what we claim to be true or the answer. Remember, we're always making claims. But not only that, we start off with a sentence template, like according to the passage, and then we directly quote the text, beginning with a quotation mark and ending with a quotation mark. All right, the next person on my participant list is Joshua. Can you read the first paragraph for me? We're moving on quickly because after this we have to do our exit ticket. Go ahead, Joshua.
King Louis called a meeting of the Estates General for the first time in over 100 years. At the Estates General, each estate got 1 vote, which meant that 98% of the population got only 1 vote. The majority of the 3 estates decided that the third estate should pay 100% of the taxes to help the country raise money. But the people of the third estate thought this was ridiculous. Why should they have to pay when the nobles had so much money? The price of bread already took up half of a poor person's daily pay. The third estate would starve if they were taxed more.
Awesome. Thank you. Next is Mackenzie.
After that meeting, the Third Estate created its own government, the National Assembly. On June 20, 1789, the members tried to meet and found that King Louis had locked the doors to their building. Desperate to have their meeting, members of the National Assembly went to a local tennis court. There they swore the tennis court oath, vowing that the future government would be a democracy. The power to govern would come from the people and not from the king.
Thank you, Mackenzie. Thank you to all of my readers who are courageous. Philip, can you please read the question that we're answering next in our poll?
Yes. Why did the National Assembly swear an oath on a tennis court? A, because they believe tennis should be a national sport. B, because they wanted to meet outside where King Louis could see them. C, because King Louis had prevented them from meeting inside a building. Or D, because they wanted to prevent the First Estate from playing tennis.
Awesome. Right now, the poll is live. Go ahead and input your answers. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see more of the reading along with the question. And I got 7 votes already. Oh, wow, you guys are fast. Excellent job. So we almost have 100% participation today with students who have read. I have a few more people left that have to look for their opportunity. They're making sure they do it in our exit ticket or by raising their hands. And tomorrow, in case we don't get to you, remember we start from the bottom of the participant list and make our way up. I have 14 votes so far. I need 3 more. 15 votes, excellent. In 5 seconds, I'm going to lock the poll. Make sure you are inputting your answers in the poll because this is a spreadsheet that gets emailed to me from Google and it is IF. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's check the most commonly chosen answer, and that is C. And let's see if you're right. Awesome job, guys. The next person on my participant list, I need you to read the evidence that justifies this answer. Not only are we choosing claims or creating claims, we're backing them with evidence. That is Spencer. Can you please read the evidence, please?
According to the passage, the members tried to meet and found that King Louis had locked the doors to their building, and they went to a local tennis court because they were desperate to have a meeting.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. We are going to move on to our exit ticket now. You should have the agenda. If you don't, I am presenting it and I will paste it one more time in the chat. Make sure you're clicking the right Jamboard. So you're going to click session 3 Jamboard, click here. I'm going to start the timer and you're answering the prompt in the Jamboard, which is what caused the French Revolution? What were the effects we have learned so far? Session 3 Jamboard. Make sure you're reading the instructions on the Jamboard. You should have complete sentences, and I'm going to challenge you. If you see an answer that someone already put, try to think of something different so we don't have duplicates of the same sticky notes on the Jamboard. Make sure you're using proper capitalization and punctuation. And you can also choose a picture. So I'm going to show you quickly, in case you're not familiar with the tools on Jamboard. There is a menu on the side, and it has a sticky note option, and that's where you can type your answer. Please make sure you are using sticky notes because they stand out a little better. Make sure you're putting your name. If you want to edit, click on it, and then click what you typed, then click the 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner, and it'll let you edit. You can also double-click it. I have one word, guillotine. That's not a complete sentence. Please try again. What do you mean? Guillotine. Explain, please, in case someone doesn't know what a guillotine is. There's a picture option on the side underneath where you can find the sticky note. And if you click Google image search, you can type in one of the key terms that you think might be a cause or an effect, and you can put them in either side of that Jamboard as well. Great. So your sticky note automatically auto-populates on top of other people. So just make sure you're moving yours. I have one from Josh. Emily says, Louis XVI didn't understand the needs of the French people. He was only concerned with maintaining his wealth. That is a beautiful example sentence, Emily. Great job. The lower and middle class thought Louis was abusing his power. Excellent, Jamie. Thank you for giving additional details. There was poor wealth distribution in France. Gosh, I really wish I knew who wrote that. One effect of the French Revolution was the creation of a new governing body that was set up democratically. Awesome. The National Assembly. Great job, Spencer. All right. Once you are done with this exit ticket, you are dismissed. Session 3 people, please make sure you close this meet. That way you are not in my meet until 8 p.m. when I'm trying to double check my attendance, students. Close the meet when you're done with the exit ticket. Have a great day. Awesome job today. Awesome. Adios, chicos y chicas. If you're just coming in, please make sure your camera is on so I can see your lovely faces. But we are not starting for 4 minutes, so you still have some time. We are starting the do now timer in 4 minutes. Awesome. Thank you for having your camera on. Thank you for being on time. We are starting the do now timer in 4 minutes when our session starts. Our session begins at 10 a.m. promptly. Patrick, I can't see you. Savannah, I can't see you. Lindsay, Andrea, Trang, Rebecca, Margot, I can't see you. Hi, there you are. Hi, how are you? Thank you for having your cameras on. I know it can be intrusive sometimes, but if you can help it, please do. I miss seeing faces. Sometimes we have brothers and sisters that are loud in the background, or even our parents are loud. I know my babies are loud, so sometimes we might be in a little corner in our basement that's just not ready for guests, so I completely understand that. If you ever have a microphone issue or a camera issue, send your teacher an email so that way we can get you hooked up and I understand your circumstances. But if you can help it, I need to see you. We are starting in 3 minutes. That's when I'll start the do now timer. So get yourself situated and comfortable. No more being master chef in the kitchen in the middle of the school day. Come back to the table, to your computers. Hello, Leah. Hello, Lindsay. Who else do we have in here whose name I haven't said yet? Have you guys been a small group today? Hello, Rebecca. Hello, Savannah. Hello, Patrick. Hello. So tell me in the chat right now, how are you feeling today as we wait to start our do now timer in 2 minutes? How are you feeling today? How has everyone been treating you? Has anyone been mean to you? Do we need to go find someone? Do we need to check them? No problem, Brian. Thanks for letting me know. Me too. I need more coffee. Woo! I'm a twin mom. Oh, I'm a twin mom, so I'm tired all the time. Twin toddlers. Thank you for coming in on time. We're starting in less than a minute. Thank you, Joshua, for making it on time. We got to be on time every day, all the time, as long as we can make it. Sometimes things come up, but it can't be regular, right? Thank you, Brianna, for sharing that. Yeah, it is a great day to be alive. Hopefully that wasn't sarcasm, but hopefully you were being serious. Any second now is going to be 10, and I'm going to start the do now timer. I am going to paste, once again, the agenda in the chat. Please open it. The best way to view the agenda from your tab is to click present. Once you click present, you'll see what I see, and you can click Monday, and then click do now once that option opens for you. Then you'll be able to get to the things that are clickable. It is now 10. I am starting the do now timer, and these are going to be super fast minutes today because of the special class time we have. So you have 3 minutes to read silently, and then now I'm going to be quiet. That way you can concentrate on the reading. So I'm going to ask you to stay muted as I take attendance. If you are lost and you're having issues finding the agenda, remember I pasted it again in the chat. You're going to Monday, do now, after you click present. And if you have questions during this reading time, please type them in the chat so we don't disturb our classmates. So I see that Trang is on task and Rebecca. and Trina and Lindsay and Brianna, Patrick, Brian, Comerlin, Josh and Justin, Lauren and Leah. Great job being on task, not getting distracted during reading time. – 15 seconds left. If you're done reading, please type ready in the chat. Awesome. Thank you for actively listening, staying present. And our timer just went off. Okay, remember that we can't show up to a meet and then disappear. That to be present is to be present the whole time. Just having your name on the participant list does not make you present. You can be absent. So let's continue. I'm going to have some opportunities today for you to answer questions voluntarily, but then other times, for a good portion of the time, we'll probably get to everyone in our participant list. I'm going to start from the top and make my way down. So please be on Google Meet. If you need to walk away, you make sure you're typing BRB in the chat and you'll be back within 5 minutes. If your mic isn't working when I call on you, please let me know. And then also we need to follow that up with an email so we can get you set up with a school device or have IT look at your mic so that way you can participate. Make sure you're raising your hand when you're being asked to raise your hand. I'm going to start from the top of my participant list with Aaron, and I need Aaron to read the objective that is on my screen, please.
Describe the causes of the French Revolution and justify the use of revolution as a historical theme.
Awesome. Thank you, Aaron, for being quick. That's exactly how I want everyone to answer today. All right, someone else now voluntarily with your hand up. Tell me, what is the topic of these lyrics about? What is mentioned? What kind of details? What is the main event? Tell me anything. I'm looking for hands up. I got one hand up.
They're looking at causes of the...
Sorry, Leah. I didn't call on anyone yet. I got one hand up. That's Brianna's hand. I'm waiting for more hands. The question was, what is the topic of the reading? I got 2 hands up, 3 hands up. Putting your hand up tells me you are still here and you are actively listening. 5 hands up. The question was, what is the topic? I have 27 students here today. Okay, now I'm getting more hands up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Thank you, Brianna, Leah, Aaron, Michael, John, Terry, Jonathan, Comerlin, Roz, Lindsay, Megan, Trang, Justin, Trina, Rebecca, Andrea. You are still present. Thank you for raising your hand. I'm going to start with the person who raised their hand first, and that is Brianna. Can you please answer for me? Tell me something you read in the lyrics. What is this about?
I think it's about the French Revolution.
Yes, great. And he's right too. Yes, that's right, honey.
Yeah, that is my teacher.
Leah, what can you add, please? I want you guys to think about what your classmates are saying before you, and I want you to add on to them and make sure you are not repeating things they already said. Use accountable talk. Go ahead, Leah.
To add on to the French Revolution is the reasons that the people decided to revolt against their rulers.
Awesome. I really like how detailed that answer was. Aaron, you're up next. What can you add?
It talks from different points of view from the French Revolution.
Oh, can you tell me more about that? What are the points of view that are mentioned?
So you have like the ruling class and then also those who are leading the revolution.
Awesome. Thank you. Michael, what can you add on, please, to what Aaron said?
It gives some of the reasons why the lower class is upset with the upper class.
Okay. And I wonder who can tell me what those reasons are. Michael, do you have them immediately in your mind right now?
No, I can look back at the document if you'd like.
Because remember, this is our objective for today that we're going to get into. What caused the French Revolution? So far, nope, you're right on task. So far, we've identified that is our objective for today. We've talked about that some people were upset with the French government. We talked about there being different classes. John, can you add anything onto what was said?
Absolutely. With talking about the different classes, I like how the writer of the poem used a lot of descriptive language. So you can definitely see the different classes. You're talking about, the King Louis, and you see all of how things look for him, and then you talk about the revolution, and then you're talking about how time has passed, the poorest classes and different things like that. So the writer of the song, I'm thinking it is, really focused in on putting the reader or the listener into how things were going on during that time.
Thank you, John, for grabbing in my song. I am extremely enthusiastic about Flocabulary. I love hip hop. I love R&B. So that's what we're going to do next. As we are listening now to the lyrics that we just read, I want you to pay attention to any details that might be inherent in the song about what caused the French Revolution or what the effects of the French Revolution were. So you are on Google Meet right now, looking at my screen. If your hand is up, please kindly put it down for me so I don't get confused in the future. We are moving away from our do now, and instead we are going to our assignment now. So now we're going to watch our Flocabulary video. My students tell me that this song makes them cringe, but then I always catch them singing it. Here we go. You're looking from my screen, please.
Yeah, it's your boy Louis the 16th, rocking a white wig and a mink fleece. All gold everything, gold throne, gold crown. If you poor, go home. Oh, you don't have a home? Me, I live at Versailles. That's my palace near Paris. In the hall of mirrors, I see me, myself, and I. The different classes need to face the fact that I'm at the top of the 3 estates. First clergy, then nobility, then the bourgeoisie. Man, they're killing me. Cause I need them to pay more taxes. My life must be lavish. I need to eat caviar, not cabbage. Without a king, you plebes are savage.
Louis, the last your time is past. The third estate is rising fast. We're the poorest of classes. You'll get death if you mess with the masses. We're massive, you ignore our votes. We met on a tennis court, swore an oath. The hour of chaos, we need the black steel. July 14th, we storm the Bastille. Put your hands in the air, raise it up. Put your fists in the air, raise it up. Feel the change in the air, raise it up. It's time for a revolution. Put your hands in the air, raise it up. Put your fists in the air, raise it up. Feel the change in the air, raise it up. It's time for a revolution. King and his crews have abused the right, so just like the U.S., we choose to fight. Just like the U.S., we use the mic and step up and declare our human rights. Give props for sure to enlightenment philosophers, their torches. We use the ideas to shine some light in the darkness. Who's there, old Hawkins? Robespierre, the soldier's here. Who doesn't fear a king? My choice is clear. Monsieur, monsieur, I lead the Jacobins against the wealthy. That's what's happening. The people name me the incorruptible. With their support, I am indestructible. Who wants to feel the pain forever? Meet the guillotine, it's a reign of terror. Put your hands in the air, raise it up. Put your fists in the air, raise it up. Feel the change in the air, raise it up. It's time for a revolution. Put your hands in the air, raise it up. Put your fists in the air, raise it up. Feel the change in the air, raise it up. It's time for a revolution.
Who's the man with the coldest heart? The man whose enemies get blown apart. The biggest deal in France since Joan of Arc? Yep, that's me, I'm Bonaparte. Yeah, I'm a hero, Napoleon. The emperor of the French, I'm controlling them. France didn't want one guy calling the shots. Forget that, I'm small, but I'm running the spot. Hit the weight room, working on my abs and glutes. How do I like my power? Absolute. I carry out a coup, conquer land, pass liberal laws and do my thing. You know, the Napoleonic code. But when I invade Russia, it gets totally cold. Oh, here's a quote to check. The revolution's an idea with a bayonet. Yep.
Put your hands in the air, raise it up. Put your fists in the air, raise it up. Feel the change in the air, raise it up. It's time for a revolution. Put your hands in the air, raise it up. Put your fists in the air, raise it up. Feel the change in the air, raise it up. It's time for a revolution.
All right, here we go. I'm going to start from my participant list. Unless you've already raised your hand and answered a question, I'll probably skip you, but I'm going down my participant list so there's no surprises of who goes first. And I've heard from Aaron, right, Aaron? I've heard from Andrea. No, I haven't heard from Andrea. Andrea, you're up. Can you please read the first paragraph on my screen, please?
Sure thing. What caused the French Revolution? In 2 words, extreme inequality. Dressed in lavish clothing, the royal family relaxed while munching on banquets at their palace in Versailles. Meanwhile, France was almost completely out of money. In the streets, the French people were beginning to starve.
Awesome, Andrea. Thank you for being quick to unmute and staying present. The next person on my participant list is Brent. Brent, can you please read the second paragraph? And I want you to stop in the middle at second estate.
In addition to the king's absurd amount of luxury, other social and class issues inspired his overthrow. Before the revolution, France's society was officially broken up into 3 social classes, which together comprised the Estates General. The first estate was made up of members of the clergy or church leaders. Did you want me to go on to the next slide?
Yep, one more sentence.
Okay, nobility and royalty comprised the second estate.
Awesome. The next person on my participant list, thank you so much, Brent, is Brian. Can you start from the highlighted part, please?
These were the people who were lucky enough to be born into very wealthy French families. The third estate included the bourgeoisie, or middle class, and peasants. But here was the problem. The top 2 estates were just 2% of the population, and the bourgeoisie and peasants made up 98%. This meant that for every 100 people in France, 2 were wealthy, and 98 were middle class or poor.
Thank you so much, Brian, for reading with enthusiasm. I appreciate that. So let's break this down before I ask you a clarifying question in a poll on Google Meet. That is coming up. My first clarifying question is, what was the name of the estates? Or I said the answer. What was the name? Let me try a different question since I gave that answer away. Who made up the first estate? I'm looking for hands up. I want hands to go up really quickly. The reading is still on my screen. I got a lot of hands up. Margot, Rick, Terry, Trang, Tommy, Lindsay, Aaron, Andrea, Megan, Trina. Margot, your hand went up first. Can you please tell me who made up the first estate?
The first estate was made up of the clergy, church leaders, nobility. Oh, no, just church and clergy.
Awesome. Rick, can you tell me who made up the second estate, please?
Nobility and royalty.
Awesome. And then finally, who made up the third estate? And that is going to be Terry.
It was the middle class and peasants called the bourgeoisie.
Awesome. Thank you. My next question, everyone, please put your hands down so we don't get confused about what questions you're answering. My next question for you is, what was the problem with the estate system in France? Thank you for raising your hand and staying muted until you're called on. Great. I got 3 hands up, 4 hands up. Awesome. 5 hands up. This is your time to volunteer. Awesome. So I'm going to call on Trina because her hand was up first. What was the problem with the estate system in France?
That the top 2 estates were only 2% of the population.
Okay. And what's the problem with that?
That the majority of the population, the middle class and the peasants, did not really have power.
They didn't have power and they were poor, most of them, right? So one great way that the reading puts it is that for every 100 people, 98 were middle class and poor, which means that only 2% of the population had most of the wealth. So you have a question to answer now. Please put your hands down. And the next person on my participant list is Brian. Brian, can you read the question, please? That is on the screen. Just the question.
Which of the following was true of French society in the years before the French Revolution?
Great. And Brianna, can you read the options we have to choose from, please?
Sure. The king deeply understood the hardships of the French people. That's A. B. Most people were part of the first and second estate. C. There were more wealthy people than poor people. And then D. The third estate made up the majority of the population.
Thank you. So if you go to Google Meet and you see the number of participants at the top, then to the right of that, you see the chat menu. Then to the right of that, you see a shapes icon. Please click on the shapes and you're going to see some tools in there. Please click polls, scroll all the way down, and you're going to see question 1 is now live. You can choose option A, B, C, or D. Remember that Google Meet sends me all of your results for how you polled. So if you choose A, B, C, or D, I get them in a spreadsheet at the end of class. This is an assignment, so make sure you are present during these polls and you're participating. I got 8 votes so far. How acceptable is 8 votes when there are 28 students in class? I'll give you more time to think about your answers. I got 13 votes now. Awesome, more votes coming in. Great job. Thank you for being attentive. It's okay to take your time to think about it. You know what? I'm going to scroll out of the reading so you can see the text with the options on the screen on Google Meet. Waiting for more votes. I'll give you 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, and I'm going to end the poll. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and I'm going to choose the answer that most of you chose. Regardless of if I think it's right or wrong, I'm going to choose what the class decided on. So far, that is answer D. So I'm going to click that. Confirm. Awesome. Great job, guys. Give yourselves a pat on the back, please. Great job. Excellent. So notice that we made a claim about what the answer was. I'm going to ask the next person on my participant list, Comerlin, could you please read the evidence that the author used to back their claim for this answer? Going once, Comerlin is absent. Going twice, Comerlin is not here. Oh, there she is.
I was muted. The third estate made up the majority of the population. According to the passage, the third estate included the bourgeoisie or middle class and peasants, and the top 2 estates were just 2% of the population. And the bourgeoisie and peasants made up 98%.
So we're keeping in mind whenever we claim something to be true or we're choosing an answer, which is creating a claim, we have to back that with evidence in our writing. We started off with a sentence template here, which is according to the passage. Keep that in your mind, memorize that. And then we immediately get to our quotation marks and we are immediately quoting a direct quote from the text. Great, we got one more and then we're moving on to our exit ticket. The next person on my list is John. Can you please read the first paragraph for me? Comerlin, can you please mute? John, going once, going twice. Oh, okay, sorry. Jonathan. Go ahead and unmute Jonathan Stewart and read the first paragraph, please.
King Louis XIV called a meeting of the Estates General for the first time in over 100 years. At the Estates General, each estate got 1 vote, which meant that 98% of the population got only 1 vote. The majority of the 3 estates decided that the third estate should pay 100% of the taxes to help the country raise money. But the people of the third estate thought this was ridiculous. Why should they have to pay when the nobles had so much more money? The price of bread already took up half of a poor person's daily pay. The third estate would starve if they were taxed more.
Great, thank you. I now need Justin Dorr to read the second paragraph, please.
After that meeting, the Third Estate created its own government, the National Assembly. On June 20, 1789, the members tried to meet and found that King Louis XVI had locked the doors to their building. Despite desperate to have their meeting, members of the National Assembly went to a local tennis court. There, they swore the tennis court oath, vowing that the future government would be a democracy. The power to govern would come from the people and not from a king.
Awesome. Thank you so much to all of my readers today who were present and fast to unmute and attentive. The question we have to answer is, why did the National Assembly swear an oath on a tennis court? The poll is active. Can I get Lauren to please read the options we have to choose from while everyone else is deciding on those options in the poll? Go ahead, Lauren.
Okay, A says because they believe tennis should be a national or be the national sport. B, because they wanted to meet outside where King Louis XVI could see them. C, because King Louis XVI had prevented them from meeting inside a building. Or D, because they wanted to prevent the First Estate from playing tennis.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Lauren. Please put your answers into the poll. And I do have that strategic paragraph showing above the question in case you needed to read back over the text. Great. I have a number of votes now, waiting for more. I have 12 votes. Veronica, did you answer? Trina, did you? Trang, Tommy, Terry, Savannah, Rick, Rebecca, Philip, Patrick, Pat, Michael, Megan, did you answer? Margot, Lindsay, Leah, Lauren, Justin, Jonathan, John, Comerlin, Brianna, Brian, Brent, Andrea, make sure you do the poll, please. Awesome. Great job, guys. Let's see what you chose. C was the only answer chosen, so I think you're pretty confident about that. Excellent job. Give yourselves a pat on the back again. Awesome. So we have our evidence again stated here according to the passage to back our claim for what we believe the answer is. We are going to move on to our exit ticket now because we are running out of time. In the chat, I'm going to paste the agenda one last time. And you are going to click Session 4 Jamboard to answer the prompt. What caused the French Revolution? What were the effects we learned so far? So make sure you're clicking on Session 4 Jamboard. That's what class we are in. If you need to refer back to any of the reading, there's a link there at the bottom of the exit ticket with a light lime green background. Click the Jamboard. For those of you who have never used a Jamboard before, there are tools on the left side of the Jamboard. Underneath the mouse icon is the sticky note icon. Please use a sticky note, not a text box. They're easier to see. Make sure you are using a complete sentence, proper punctuation and spelling, and you're putting your name on the sticky note with your response. So someone gave me an answer, oppressed, but majority lower class. Please tell me your name, who was oppressed, be more specific. And I'm going to challenge you to not put something you already see on the Jamboard. No repeats. Awesome. Thank you, Lindsay. Some causes of the French Revolution, Lindsay says, angry masses of peasants. Great job. Great. Majority of the lower class was oppressed. Philip says taxes. Philip, I need a complete sentence. No one words here. There was extreme inequality. Most wealth is only in the 2%. Okay, give me more. I keep seeing that one. Give me some names. Who are some names that were mentioned in your lyrics? What was the name of the government they tried to establish? Where did they swear, and what did they swear to do as a result of beginning the revolution? Awesome, MK, democracy so that the masses were represented. Great job. Waiting for more sticky notes. So another part of these directions is that you can add an image. You can add an image on the side underneath where the sticky note icon is. And we are also out of time. So once you are done with this exit ticket, you are dismissed. And have a great rest of day, everyone. Please close this meet so my recording stops once you're done. Please close the meet, please. Thanks, Margot. I appreciate it. Thanks. Bye, John. Bye, Megan. Have a great day. Bye, Tommy. Bye, Comerlin. Have a great day. Please close the meet, please, Comerlin.